What's going on, guys? Welcome to Study of Giants, courtesy of the Bigfoot Researchers Journal. We're looking at some footage that shows some really enormous creatures on the other side of the water there, and it's interesting because when we get in close, the creatures that we see are so large that it's really actually kind of hard to believe. Going back through and looking at like frames like these where you can see these enormous creatures, man. We got one behind there, and he's looking around, and it's huge, enormous, and you can see there he's flaring his nostrils. That's a really big Bigfoot right there, and these are his eyes. His forehead is right here. That's a big, heavy brow. This line right here is his eyes, and his nose is right here. You can see his nostrils. Now, there's a couple of them in here with him. This appears to be a larger one right here. I think what it is they're sitting together, but you can plainly see that big one right there. And this, I don't know, is it a female with like a male and a couple of small ones? I guess that's feasible. We've pushed them into areas that they have no choice to be in. And I'm sure they're psychologically that's, oh, look at that, man. Wow. There's your Bigfoot. You got this whole thing going on here. And so here it is, right? We've got diffusion galore. This is really incredible footage. And, you know, hiking through the area, it's like a vacuum in there. You get a sense that there's something going on. And in this particular clip, this is the segment where I was talking about shooting in open sunlight with the sun in the camera's eyes versus ducking behind a bush and then kind of shooting from what we call the shade, which is ultimately the diffusion. We see it as colorless light. The reality is, if one of these achromatic creatures jumps in the shade, the same exact shade next to us, it'll start turning green like the color or whatever color is actually diffused. We don't see all that light. We see it as dark, and that's it. The reality is it's darker shades of whatever leaves or branches it's hitting, and that's really all it is. We just think it's like a darkness or something, and maybe that's how we see a lot of the 99% that we don't actually pick up on. But you can see the creature's forehead in here. Anyway, these are big ones, and they're on the other side there. And look at the nostrils, and it's weird because it could be little ones crawling all over the bigger ones. And I look at it like, we're getting a view through that light that prevents us typically. And how does it look as we shoot? You would never even know that the creatures are there. We can see them here on the other side, and there it is. That's the same creatures right there. So that's what I'm trying to compete against. They blend, right? And actual is even worse than that, because if I take this off, then you got nothing. You got schmishmash, and this is why everybody says, "Oh, it's nothing." No, man, you're blind, literally. Legally blind. Oh, by human standards, you have 20/20. But the reality is you don't see 99% of the world around you the way a bird sees it, or the way an owl or an eagle sees it. With 4-cone vision systems, which is what I hypothesize the Sasquatch have, and big nocturnal vision, right? We see huge bone structure on some of these guys. The ones that we're looking at in this footage that you can plainly see, look at that eye staring across the canal. Here we got a big one. I think this is a female, man, and this looks like a banner creature. I mean, I'll put a picture of Banner here. Look at this is Banner, and then look at this guy, and this is clearly not the same creature. This is miles away. This is a totally different research area, and this female type, I think, is what this is. So we got the male and the female, but you can see them over there, and this is me manipulating the light only. That's all I'm doing. It's very simple. Human beings are blind, and we are especially blind to these massive super predators that can rip 100-foot trees out of the ground and throw them at us. We're closing in on their habitat, 1 acre at a time. And I don't know if anybody's aware of this, but there are entire departments of our local government that are dedicated to planning and engineering environments for civilized human beings to take over. And that's this habitat. Now, what really are we looking at here? What you guys don't realize is this isn't a tree line, it's a hill. These guys are dug into the side of a hill, and they're on the western facing side of the bank. Why is that? The sun comes up in the east. It's much easier to not have it in your eyes and be in the shade. So we have light sensitivity type behaviors. They're on the western slope with their back to the sun. But that gives them observation, and whoever's observing them typically has the sun in their eyes. And so what does that look like? Let's take a look. What does having the sun in your eyes when you're shooting here actually look like? Let's see. Here we go. This is the clip before, and I'm going to reset the parameters. So I have glare and darkness. It's like ridiculous. And then I go into the next clip and I duck behind this bush. And as I duck behind the bush, oh, that's a big beard shot there. As I duck, oh, here's another one. Let's go over this one too while we're at it. Here's this is one of those big female things, I think, man. We got the bridge of the nose, and I found this last night. You can see its mouth and the upper lip there, and then the forehead and the eyes. But the creature actually comes in right about there, and we can see. And as we go through the frames, you can see where the diffusion's coming across the face and just distorting it a little bit. It's not giving us a complete view. We can see a little eye shine coming back there. That's that daytime reflection, that nocturnal pupil, the back of that eye, that nocturnal eyeball rather, bouncing light forward, a lot of it. And that's, you know, man, when you see that, you know this thing watches you at night like it's like lit up, you know what I mean? And we can see that the creature comes in, and then bam, we get the light. Just in the, it's possible we can see some of this eye too. I haven't manipulated this much, so let me just screw around with it and see what we can do here. Let's see if that renders, if anything changes. Oh yeah, we got a little bit better view of the eye there, and it's, yeah, we can see this eye as well. So we're looking at these creatures, and what's going on over here, we got weirdness. They're stacked up on the hill, and they're just leaning forward off their back. Looks like there might be something over here. They're just leaning forward and taking a look, and that's really all that's going on. There's the creature there. Is it possible there are other ones? Of course. They're, like I said, I think with the way they're being corralled in, any number of community type situations could be happening. Here comes the footage now, and we're reading the first frames of that big guy over there. Man, that thing's huge, and the diffusion is just throwing wrenches in the game. But look at that, look at the eye up in here, man. And the forehead's got wrinkles, and it's just catching and throwing everything off, making you think there's like 2 or 3 of them or something. But that's a big, solid, ugly, banner twin, only bigger. Banner's around 9 feet. This creature's well outside of that. So, but anyway, I appreciate you guys participating in the study of giants. Look at this footage; it's crazy. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, we'd appreciate it. We're moving the study forward with learning about how these creatures are avoiding human attention, because humans are literally unable to see them. They're overexposed, the creatures. We're messing around with light, and guess what's coming out in the footage? Oh boy, look at them. Oof. It's freaky looking, man. I'm telling you. Welcome to Crypto Reality.